So I'm just about to unbox our first Ambrogio 25 Elite. It's going to replace the L35 that was running here, as you can see in the background, and that's where the L35 used to sit, so hopefully it'll be a simple swap. So let's have a look what we've got in the box. So there we are, 2025, and for those of you who haven't seen it before, the 2025 is a larger version of the 20 range, but does a larger area. So as you can see, what we've got in the box is the mower, some pegs which will hold down the base. This is used for adjusting the cutting height, and you can also undo the blade with the fillets bit in the end, and the power supply. As you can see, the power supply comes with a Euro plug, and as you might have seen when I opened the box, you do get a adapter to fit it, but if you're fitting it into a 3-pin plug, which is in an external socket, the external socket won't close down over that plug, so you need to cut off the plug and put a standard 3-pin on it. So what else have we got in the box? Manuals, very useful, but you can get them online via the app. Oops, right, I have to put this down a bit. Right, so there it is. If we compare it to the L35, let's put them side by side. You can see they're about the same size physically. Key difference is that you can see 2 front wheels on the 2025 and 1 front wheel on the L35. On our garden, we've got a number of ant hills, and the L35 does tend to get stuck because of its 3 wheels on those ant hills, so I'm hoping 2025 will solve the problem. So if we look in the box and take this out, sorry, that, and there we are, the base. Right, so there we are. There's the base. We have the charging station which fits in there, and then the mower will sit on the charging station. So hopefully we're ready to go. So here we are, look a while later. I wanted to strim around it just to clear away all the long grass. I changed the plug from the Euro pin to the 3-pin UK plug to fit it in the dry box. So I usually put the transformers into a dry box just to make sure. Spent a little while just making sure it's docking straight in the base, and as you can see, well, you might not be able to see, but there's the blue light, which means it's in and it's charging. Just one thing to note, or actually maybe a couple. First of all, I always put the wire underneath the base, so the wire, you might be able to just see it coming in there. There is a channel in the base, but I always put it underneath, and the reason for that is that if you have any problems with the mower not docking centrally in the base, it's much easier to just move the base a little bit left or right until it gets it engages perfectly. You'll see, and let's move it out, stop it. As you will see, when it drives in, the front two wheels can be guided in by these channels, but if it docks in perfectly, then the wheels will actually go either side of it and won't actually touch it. So that's what you're aiming for. You're aiming for it to be docking as straight as possible, and that means you'll get the best contact from these charging points that are on the mower here onto the charging plates you see here. So as you can see, I've moved this around left and right a bit until I've got it perfect. I haven't actually put the pegs in to hold it in place, but I'll do that next. I've set the schedule and set the geofence, and it's all configured and ready to go. So let's put it back in the dock, and let's see how it goes. So you can see, you might have seen that it just moved forward a little bit there. That's because when I put it down I didn't engage it properly, so it's engaged itself now. You can see the blue flashing light, and let's hit the start button. Okay, right, slight problem there, is that when I set the schedule, it's not meant to be mowing at this time. So it came out, said, oh, I'm not meant to be mowing, and went back in again. So you can override that. So what I'll do is override it, and then I'll give you a little video of it running. Okay, so there we are. So all I did there was, since it wasn't meant to be mowing at this time, I sent it a command from the app to do a mow and till, which means you can set an area that you want it to mow, and you can set the time when you want it to mow and till, and that overrides the schedule. So here it's off and running, just come out for its first time on the lawn. You can hear it running, and you might be able to hear the blades cutting. You can just get a slight kind of it's like a little metallic noise when as the grass hits the blade. So I've set it a little bit higher, just because to kind of make sure that it evens out the grass everywhere. You can see it's mowing in a spiral, so it's using its GPS in order to divide up your lawns into squares, and then every time it goes into a square it says, have I mowed here in the last 3 days? And if it hasn't, it'll mow in a spiral, and if it has, it will go in a straight line. And that's how the Ambrogios make sure that you get the most out of your battery. So it's smart mowing. So you can see, as I said, on our old mower, the L35, it really struggled with those anthills, and the reason it struggled was that the rear of it had a very low clearance, as you can hear. So it got over the top of that one where the L35 would have got stuck. So that's what I'm hoping for. And off it goes. So hopefully you found that useful, and I'm sure I'll be posting some more videos on the Ambrogio 25 Elite.